It is an honor for us to share with you the CISANs Handbook of Metadata in the 14th International Conference on Open Repositories. We come from the National Autonomous University of Mexico, well known in Spanish as UNAM, in representation of the Center for Research on North America, CISAN. Our center is a multi- and interdisciplinary research unit of the UNAM. The CISAN's mission is to study the United States and Canada and their relations with Mexico and other regions. Our presentation is divided in three parts. First, the origins and premises for the creation and development of the handbook. Second, the handbook itself. And third, the conclusions. To preserve the institutional memory and share our publications in the frame of open access MiCISAN institutional repository was created. We reviewed the literature and found that the most common mistakes in institutional repositories were related with the low quality of metadata, reflected in terms of lack of completeness, precision, and consistency of the registers. In this context, CISAN's Handbook of Metadata was born. Thus, CISAN Metadata for the Documentary Description Handbook was developed with the purpose of sharing the same language, enable us to achieve an accurate analysis and a unified access to information based on international standards. The handbook is in Spanish and nowadays is just for institutional use, but it is in process for open public access in an electronic format. The handbook is divided in two parts. The first includes the concept, the history, the nature, and features of the CISAN collections. And the second part holds the description of nearly 75 metadata. Each template indicates name, definition, internal policies, tags, and real examples. We follow the guidelines of the National Council of Science and Technology, based on Dublin Core Schema, Open Air Guidelines, and under the umbrella of international standards. Some of the standards are shown in the slide. For instance, we use for language ISO 639 of 3, and for dates the ISO 8601. For subjects, Library of Congress subject headings, between others. Let's see an example. For contributors, we identify the professionals in the publishing process. For instance, for corrector, we can see that the template begins with a metadata name, next with a description or definition. Then we have the policies followed by the CISAN in accordance with the international standards, the way of use, as well as the several titles for the same metadata. Also, the syntax is in XML and real example and its corresponding image. This image indicates the place where the information must to be taken from the item. In this example, the corrector is located in the colophon. The use of a handbook tailored for each institute gives the opportunity to know well the specific features of the collections, to make use and reuse of the work did in libraries, and go strong to the way of scalability for new resources and services. The CISAN Metadata Handbook allows a uniform description that tends to guarantee interoperability. Thank you very much for your time. We'll be glad to answer any doubts by email. Thank you.